الله بالخير. حل مكتب رئيس الجمهورية في باكستان البرلمان والحكومة تمهيدا للانتخابات التي قد لا تأتي في موعدها بعد 90 يوما بحسب الدستور. ثمة حيثيات داخلية وخارجية عدة ما زالت مجهولة لدى الرأي العام العربي فيما يتعلق بدولة كبيرة ومهمة للغاية وقوة نووية وعسكرية معتبرة ومؤثرة في محيطها وأكثر. السيد راجا بيرفيز أشرف رئيس المجلس الوطني الباكستاني يناقش الشؤون السياسية الداخلية والخارجية بمقاربته الخاصة، فيما تعتزم دول الخليج استثمار مليارات الدولارات في باكستان وفق مستند نشرته وول ستريت جورنال. هل تتفاوض باكستان مع دول الخليج لاستدراج الاستثمارات؟ ما هو الخط الفاصل بين دور الجيش العسكري فيما يتعلق بالأمن القومي وبين ما يقال عن أدواره السياسية المؤثرة في الحكم؟ هل هذا النظام البرلماني يوفر الاستقرار السياسي في الحكم أم هناك خطر على الديمقراطية في باكستان اليوم؟ ما علاقة باكستان مع دولتين جارتين مهمتين الهند وإيران في الصراع المحتدم بين الغرب الأطلسي والقوى الصاعدة في الشرق؟ أين هي باكستان حالياً جيوستراتيجياً؟ نرحب بكم ونرى ونسمع أكثر من حضرة رئيس مجلس النواب الباكستاني راجا بيرفيز أشرف في البعد الأقرب. هذه الميادين وأنا زينب صفار، خليكم ويانا. Raja Pervez Ashraf, Speaker of the National Assembly of Pakistan, senior ranking leader in the Pakistan People's Party PPP, and served as the 19th Prime Minister of Pakistan. The Honourable Raja Pervez Ashraf, salam and welcome to Al Mayadeen. This is the Proximate Aspect. I'm Zainab Al Safa. Pure pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Your honourable members of the new cabinet just took the oath. Congratulations first. And do you think the new caretaking government will be able to deliver in these strenuous, challenging times? What are your expectations, please?
Well, as you know, the most important task before them is to hold free, fair and impartial election in the country. And that is the task they have, because they are caretaker. And I am sure that the members of the new cabinet and the Prime Minister, they are experienced people, and they would be able to give us free, fair and impartial election in this country.
Right. Do we expect the elections to take place on time?
Yes, constitutionally it is very important, but there is another constitutional requirement, because we have gone through census very recently, and after census they have to go for delimitation of the constituencies. As you know, the population increases, and they have to, make new constituencies or go for delimitation. And that, is expected to take some time. And I feel that the elections may go another 3 or 4 months beyond the schedule, the previous schedule.
Right. As per our document published in the Wall Street Journal, Gulf nations poised to invest billions in Pakistan as it seeks infusion of foreign currency. In April this year, of course, Pakistan's reported foreign exchange reserves were hovering at $4 billion, insufficient to pay even 1 month's import bill. This enormous external debt places significant repayment pressure on your country, sir. Is Pakistan negotiating with Gulf nations to bring in investments?
Yes, we have been facing a great, economic crunch. As you know, that we had this problem, but Pakistan, the previous government has taken some, very difficult, actions regarding the unpopular, I would rather say unpopular steps as far as general public is concerned, and they have tried their best to come out of this situation. And I appreciate that our friends in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia and Turkey, China, America all helped us. And I'm confident that that the new government comes, they will have to face enormous challenges as far as economy is concerned. But Pakistani nation is very resilient, and we have been facing such situation, and we surmounted these problems.
Excellent. In this sense, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, enters the stage in this setting as the supreme saver, as some might look at it. Yet, Your Honourable, at what price? When they offer a bailout of $3 billion, at what price?
Well, I think IMF and the previous government, the elected government, they were in negotiations, and they negotiated the loan, and the Pakistan will have to fulfill those conditions which have been agreed upon between the Pakistani government and the IMF.
Right. In going back to our reference, observers note that mining, energy, infrastructure, farmland and privatizations of Pakistani government businesses could be all part of the planned sell-off to Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Qatar. Is the caretaker government expected to kickstart the deals with Gulf countries? Knowing, of course, that the Gulf has long dealt directly with Pakistan's army. What is the role of Islamabad military in this leverage investment, please?
Well, I think now the government and all the institutions, the national institutions, including the army, the whole nation is one page, that we are facing difficulties and we have to strive very hard to come out of it. And I think this is a good omen that the military has also been on the same page to to come out with some solution to strengthen our economy, especially in the agriculture sector.
Right. Sir, Your Honourable, some might argue that Pakistan's involvement in CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, has led to impractical projects heavily reliant on foreign loans, worsening the country's economic difficulties. How do you read this, please? And once this project is completed, would CPEC transform Pakistan into a global player and a leading force in South Asia?
Well, as you know, that the loans are taken only when they are utmost necessary, and there's difficulties to go without loans. And Pakistan was under a lot of pressure to take foreign loans, and I think that problem is there. As far as CPEC is concerned, CPEC has given a very good infrastructure to the country, and especially I think our infrastructure have greatly improved as far as due to the CPEC, and CPEC is known as the game changer in Pakistan economy. Once it is completed, once the Gwadar port is functional, I'm sure that it's going to be beneficial not only for Pakistan but China and other neighboring countries as well.
True, and to the BRI and to the whole region. Well, so a 5-year parliamentary term just concluded in Pakistan. Observers note that it was marked by questions of domestic political legitimacy and near constant reports of the military's behind-the-scenes meddling in political affairs and governance. Knowing that the nature of Pakistan's political system is parliamentary, as Speaker of the National Assembly, do you reckon, sir, that this system provides political stability and governance?
Yes, I think, as you have rightly said, that we have a parliamentary system of the government, and I think this has been now the third assembly which has completed its tenure, its term. And I think this is something very encouraging in Pakistan, that democracy is now quite strengthened. People are aware, and there are too many political parties. They have given a lot of education to the people of Pakistan, and now once this assembly has completed its term, and we are looking for the next assembly to come in and start functioning, I'm sure that people of Pakistan now, they are wise enough to choose their representative to form a stable government in the country.
Hopefully. Well, during these past 5 years, Pakistan witnessed 2 ruling coalitions with different prime ministers and consequent tensions, political/legal/street riots, etc. In recent months, Pakistani politics has been gripped by word of a diplomatic cable said to describe U.S. State Department officials encouraging the removal of former Prime Minister Imran Khan from power. Did the turbulent domestic politics affect Pakistan's foreign relations while adversely impacting the country's economy and security?
Well, I tell you one thing, without going into the nitty-gritty or blaming anybody, I would rather say that it is the first time that Imran Khan's government was ousted through a political and parliamentary move. Vote of no confidence was brought against him, and he was voted out. He lost majority in the House, so naturally he had one option, that he should sit in the opposition. But I think that he chose to go on the street and boycotted the National Assembly. But then, the other numbers were intact, less him, and the National Assembly performed well. We went for the legislation. We went for a very important legislation in the country, and this is how we completed our term of 5 years.
Right. Now, as the National Assembly Speaker, Mr. Raja Ashraf, you've highlighted the pivotal role of Parliament as the center of power and the sole legislative organ of the state that represents the will of the people. If the parliament as a whole has a central role and the final word in determining the parameters of any executive authority, then what is the status and role of the Speaker of Parliament?
Well, Speaker of the Parliament is the custodian of the House. He is the one who is responsible for functioning of the Parliament for the National Assembly, and he is elected member, is one of the those MNAs who has been elected by the members, and he enjoys the majority of the members of the assembly, so he becomes speaker. As a speaker, he becomes custodian. Then he acts as custodian of the house. He acts as an impartial, and he tries to be, equal with all the members of different parties. This is what the job of the speaker is.
Right. Allow me to ask you about also a powerful aspect of Pakistan's governance and politics. Pakistan's military has been a major, pivotal, central and decisive part of the country for decades, both at the state level and even among the people in general. But what is the defining line between its military role and matters pertaining to national security on the one hand, and what is said about its political role affecting governance on the other?
Well, I think as far as the governance is concerned, that is the sole responsibility of the elected and chosen representative of the people, as our constitution says. As far as the military is concerned, of course, they have been facing, the terrorism. The country has been facing terrorism, and our armed forces, they fought valiantly against them, and they gave a lot of sacrifices for I think a strong military in the country is very important for our defense, and we are very much proud of our armed forces as far as their role of defending the country is concerned.
Sure. Pakistan has, allow me to take you now to talk about certain external affairs. Pakistan has historical relations with the United States of America. In many intervals, they were strategic relations. Its relations with the West are, of course, good. At the same time, Pakistan is a big Asian country of paramount importance. It is therefore a pivotal country in the east of the world. Today, Mr. Ashraf, we are witnessing what looks like a raging conflict between the Atlanticist West and the great powers in the East, especially, of course, China and Russia and, of course, Iran. In the midst of this conflict, open to more than one possibility between East and West, today, where is Pakistan standing geostrategically? Where is it looking?
Well, as Pakistan's foreign policy is concerned, that always had been a policy of friendship with all. And we have our own strategic, situation as far as Pakistan is concerned, and our foreign policy, the main, the point was always with all the governments that we should have good relations with all the world, with all the countries, even the Western countries and the Asian countries and the neighboring countries, and particularly with our Muslim brethren countries.
Sure.
So Pakistan had been pursuing this foreign policy.
Yes, but don't you think that now if you are friends with Russia, it's going to be so strenuous for you to be also friends with the Americans?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure that Pakistan will keep its position that friendship with all.
Excellent.
And
now,
enmity with none.
Sure. How do you evaluate, Your Honourable, your relations with two important neighbouring countries of Pakistan, India and Iran?
Yes, Iran is our neighboring country, a very friendly neighboring country, and we always enjoyed good relations with Iran. And as far as India is concerned, yes, there are certain issues with India there are certain conflicts unresolved, especially the Kashmir problem, and we had been problem in maintaining good relations. We went for 2-3 wars between the two countries, and now I think the time is that when the world should realize, and both of us should realize, that we have to resolve our problem, and especially the burning issue of Jammu and Kashmir that has to be resolved as per the aspiration of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and as per resolution of the United Nations. As you know, that the Indian, they have deployed more than 1 million of their army in the nooks and corner of Kashmir, and they were deprived of even the basic human rights. And you must have the knowledge that what had been happening, they tried to change the demography, and this is, they changed the constitution.
The import of Russian oil has been approved by the parliament as well as the Iranian gas. However, we see that the Iranian gas project has not yet been completed, although there is a shortage of gas in Pakistan and an urgent need to obtain it. What are the reasons, sir?
We have shortage of electricity, we have shortage of oil, we have shortage of gas, and Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline is a very good project. If we can get gas, from a neighboring country, it will greatly help us to reduce our energy problems. As far as Russian oil is concerned, I think, this is the right of any country that they should get the cheaper oil or cheaper, anything cheaper wherever they can get.
We are witnessing many disagreements about ways to deal with the Ukrainian-Russian file. There are new interests for Pakistan with Russia, and at the same time, there are American demands. How does the parliament, as a custodian, as you said, as an establishment, also take divisive political action in such a dilemma?
Well, I think that Pakistan, as I've said earlier, that Pakistan has always tried to maintain good relations with all countries. And it is not advisable to have a relation with one country at the cost of the other country. That is not interest of the, in Pakistan. So I'm sure that our foreign policy will keep on going on the same line, that we will try to maintain balance, we will try to maintain friendship and relations, good relations with all the countries.
Sure. Now, allow me to ask you about the recent constitutional amendments and the passing of 53 bills in just 4 days. Is that normal? Pakistani President Dr. Arif Alvi has refused to sign and return 13 bills approved by both houses of parliament, including the one aimed at empowering police to arrest a person without a warrant. Is there a danger to democracy in Pakistan today?
No, I think this is the right of the parliament to pass a bill. Legislation is the sole domain of the parliament and the National Assembly and the Senate. The president has to assent it, president has to approve it, and if he doesn't approve for 14 days, it gets approved, or then it goes to the joint sitting of both houses. So president's refusal at this stage, when there is no National Assembly, I can understand that when the National Assembly comes, the next National Assembly comes, they will take up these 54 or 100 bills, whatever they are. Because but the legislation, as I said, is the sole domain and responsibility of the parliament. If parliament is supreme, then nobody can interfere.
Sure. Your Honorable Raja Pervez Ashraf, Speaker of the National Assembly of Pakistan, thank you very much, sir, for your acumen and thoroughness. Such a pleasure to have you at Al Mayadeen Network.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Always welcome, sir. لعل باكستان اليوم على شفا أزمة مالية حادة، إذ يكافح الباكستانيون للتعامل مع القوة الشرائية المتضائلة باستمرار وتقلص الاحتياطات الأجنبية. يتصاعد التضخم وتواجه البلاد اضطرابات واسعة النطاق. باتت التوترات عالية مع اقتراب موعد الانتخابات، ما يزيد من حالة عدم اليقين. تقوم الإدارة الحالية بالموازنة على حبل مشدود مالي واقتصادي وسياسي، بينما يتم طرح أسئلة متزايدة حول مستقبل الحكم المدني. نعم، قد يكون تمويل صندوق النقد الدولي حلاً إنقاذياً، ولكن لوقت قصير جداً. فما الثمن الذي ستدفعه باكستان وأهلها في المقابل؟ من كل الميادين، سلاما وتحية، فيما الله.